Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and it is India versus Bangladesh, test number two, day one. But we are expecting a delayed start, and Shomik will give us all the updates from Kanpur about what the weather looks like right now and when we can expect to start. Shomik, take away before I go to Bharat and Ishan.
See, Gavi, still a section of the outfield, a section of the outfield is under covers. There are puddles of water. It is very tricky job. Super stopper is working, but it rained. What I'm told by my auto driver who took me from my hotel to the stadium that it rained from 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning. So, it was quite a heavy rain, and it will take at least another hour for things to fix. So we are going to have a delayed start. Even the
And will the
teams, obviously, a section of the outfield is under wraps, so the teams couldn't start their warm up also.
So it's likely going to be a 1 hour plus start because things will take time to dry off as well. But Shomik, if I were to ask you what kind of effect this would have on the pitch, what are you expecting out of it today?
See, the local curator said the pitch will have something for everyone: pacers, spinners, batsmen. Traditionally, Green Park pitch is batting friendly. In the last two tests here, there were gaps like 2016 India played here against New Zealand, and then 2021 once again India played here against New Zealand. Both tests went to the final day. 2016 India won. 2021 uh, Rachid Ravindra and Azaz Patel fought it with the hosts to take out a very memorable draw. It was a cliffhanger. So traditionally, it's a slow pitch, black soil pitch, slow pitch. But the curator here, the local curator is claiming this time there will be some carry and bounce, which I don't think will happen. Once again, more than the pitch, team selection could be dependent on the overhead conditions also. With cloud cover and everything, Abhishek Nair kept his cards close yesterday. And let's see how, on the face of it, it is Kuldeep Yadav's home venue, and Kuldeep Yadav, by the look of it, Kuldeep Yadav should play. But then again, the overhead conditions are there, and India will decide accordingly.
Yeah, and that's the question I was going to ask Bharat and Nishan. Is that we all know that it's a black soil pitch. It's traditionally very slow and low, and now with the overcast conditions, you are going to see a wet outfield as well. What changes do you warrant? Do you see happening in the Indian 11?
So I guess the main factor is the moisture. If rain comes, if there is some rain, then there will be definitely some moisture would have seeped under the covers. At least a little bit of moisture. And if the track is soft, then definitely it will seam around a little bit. I think that's the main factor. If India really think that there is too much moisture that could have seeped under, then they might pick three seamers. But I still don't think that's the way to go at Kanpur. You generally look at three spinners. Also remember, if there is moisture around, a little bit of moisture around on the pitch, then the spinners also would come into play because it will grip. And we saw that Ashwin taking advantage of it at the MCG in 2020 when there was a little bit of moisture around. So spinners also will come into play. So that is I think the crucial factor to look at for the Indian setup. How much moisture would have seeped under? If they believe too much of moisture would have seeped under, then yeah, they might take a gamble of picking three seamers. But I don't think it will happen. As far as the black soil is concerned, see, Indian tracks generally have less clay content. I think that is the main issue. When you have less clay content, then there will be less bounce, and there is too much of slit factor. Because of the slit factor, there is less holding capacity. Uh, so when you think of Wankhede Stadium, there's red soil plus yellow soil. Yellow soil, you'll get it in Western Ghats. So when you mix these two, then you will get that kind of bounce. But just black soil, Indian pitches, less clay content. So that is why it will be less pace and less bounce. And it will be basically a slow turner. That's what to expect the conditions at Kanpur. We saw that even when Indian played New Zealand here. one of the previous test matches where everything happened slowly. The turn was slow, the run rate was not very high, and it turned out to be an exciting drawn test.
Yeah, and we have the update. So there will be an official inspection at 9:30 a.m. So we can expect a very after that. I think we can expect another 1 hour of the ground drying off. But right now, Mone Mokkal and Gautam Gambhir have walked to the middle, are looking at the pitch. Ravindra Jadeja is also there, and they're talking with the umpires and having a little discussion about when they can expect to start. But Ishan, over to you now. What kind of team are you expecting to see? We know that overcast conditions do change the playing 11.
Yes, Kagi, but I think Bharat rightly mentioned it will be depending on the amount of moisture that there is. It won't be too surprising if they go ahead with three paces because the pace battery also was quite effective in the last Test match, and the Bangladesh side was clearly struggling in that first innings against pace. So definitely the Indian team will have that in the back of the mind that this team has struggled against our pace bowlers in the past, so might have that same option of going hard with those three paces, but at the same time, the spinners as well are more effective in the second inning. So it will really depend on how I think the conditions play out in the next half an hour, 1 hour, and I think the team management that is there at the wicket at the moment will get a better understanding of what team to play because I think they'll be looking at the wicket and I think that analysts will be completely done over there. But in my opinion, it can really go both ways. I think I would like to see possibly three paces also play because I think they were quite effective in the first innings. The ball will move over here. The Bangladesh batters had difficulties playing them. And I think the Indians will go hard if they go with three pacers. But obviously, the other point does make sense that obviously having that spinner will also have that additional X factor in. It will completely depend on the conditions, Gagi, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and watch. It can go either ways up till now.
And Shomik, if there are to be any changes, what changes are you expecting personally?
See, personally, I mean, if there are to be any changes, there could be just one change. Sudhir Yadav coming in for one of the fast bowlers. It would be either Mohammad Siraj or Akashdeep. Given the focus Akashdeep is in, I mean, the way Akashdeep, what I have seen him in the legs, I'd be surprised if Akashdeep is dropped. And also Siraj is a fantastic bowler, but he looks a little jaded and maybe he needs a little bit of a break. But let's see, given the overall conditions, it would be a little, still it would be a little premature to predict what would be the team composition like. But if there are to be a change, it has to be Kuldeep Yadav in place of one of the fast bowlers.
Yeah. And we did a show yesterday, but we spoke about Shakib Al Hassan, but we didn't get to hear your opinion, on his retirement. What are you thinking? This could be his last series.
Yeah, obviously controversies are surrounding him. I don't have to talk much about it because it's already out there in the open. What exactly has happened with him with regard to the case that has been put on him. So, when you consider all those circumstances, I guess it's the right decision, or maybe it's a forced decision, but it's the right kind of decision from Sakib Al Hassan's point of view. But yeah, he's been a great cricketer for Bangladesh, right from the days when he stood alone amid the ruins in the Wellington Test in somewhere in 2008, scored 40 out of 110 runs that Bangladesh got, and right down to a few months later, he was again playing against the same New Zealand side, took a 7 for, and scored 70, 80 odd when they were in trouble. So that is how I would remember Sakib Al Hasan as someone at the peak of his powers who used to really come good for Bangladesh when they were in trouble, both with the ball and with the bat. Yeah, over the last couple of years, it hasn't exactly gone well for him in Test cricket. His bowling average is shot up. His batting average is not been that good. He has had an eye problem. Yes, other obviously as you get older, you also get a few niggles. But yeah, he's been a great servant for Bangladesh. And from his perspective, looking at the kind of controversy surrounding him, I think it is the right decision for Sakib Al Hasan. He has achieved everything. There's nothing more to prove as a cricketer for Sakib Al Hasan. So it's perhaps the right time to go. Wait.
Ishan, Your thoughts?
I just, Gargi, I just want to say something that internet connection is very unstable here. I mean, Wi-Fi is not working properly at the press box, and even with the jammers around on a match day, the connection is coming and going. So if I go error during mid show, I apologize to our viewers.
No, I think you had to leave as well, so you can take your leave, Shomik.
Okay,
Uh,
fine.
Yes,
Okay,
Gagi.
thank you.
Yep, sorry. I think there's a slight network issue on my end also. So you're asking about the Shakib Al Hassan. Yeah, yes, Gagi. So obviously, he's done a lot for Bangladesh cricket, and maybe he thought that the time is right. So it's obviously a decision that he's thought through. This Bangladesh side will definitely miss him because whenever we talk about Bangladesh, we really talk about possibly, unfortunately, a few players, and one of them, the most prominent one, is Shakil Hassan. So I think this Bangladesh side will definitely miss him in the future. But like Bharat has mentioned here again, that he's done his part. He's contributed to the cricket of Bangladesh. Unfortunately, they haven't been overly successful, but he's obviously been a major part of whatever that this team has been a part of. So I think Shakib will be missed, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes about his final test match and how he eventually goes on to play this one.
oh, sorry, I'm on mute. So, Shomik, if final thoughts, and then you can take your leave. Oh, I think he's left, but his frame is still here with us. But yeah, final inspection, official inspection, sorry, at 9:30 a.m. But this is, this test is another opportunity for India to dominate once again. Bharat, if I were to ask you, who are you looking forward to this time around? Maybe to score runs or get some more wickets. Who would you pick?
Yeah, see, they are the obvious candidates would be there. If you look at India's batting orders, somehow it feels like it's more like India's lower middle order is in better form. So I might have to start from someone who is batting at 6, 7, 8, 9, like Ashwin or Jadeja. These are the kind of guys who have been scoring runs in the recent past. But from India's perspective, probably Virat Kohli would look to score some runs. He's been struggling. And okay, he scored a couple of hundreds last year, but over a period of time in Test cricket, it hasn't exactly gone well for him. His ranking now, ICC ranking is now at number 12. That tells that Virat Kohli hasn't exactly been in great form in Test cricket. So he would be looking to score some runs. KL Rahul would be looking to bide his time, get a useful score because there is pressure on him. He's averaging 34 in Test cricket after playing 50 Tests. So, but India really need him more than home conditions. India really need him in Australian conditions, perhaps. So, India also would be hoping that KL Rahul will get some runs here. So, these are the couple of batters. Yeah, Rohit Sharma failed in the first Test. Hopefully, he will also compile a useful score, compose a useful score. So, I guess some of India's main batters would have to come good because there are Sturner Test side against Australia, and they have to get back into form. This is the right time.
Yeah. And Ishan, if I were to look at the stats of the ground, generally, when teams win a toss, they tend to bat first. But with the conditions, if India happens to win the toss, what do you reckon will Rohit Sharma pick?
I think he might go to. I think he might go with the option to bowl first, Gagi. I think with overcast conditions and already knowing that the Bangladeshi batters have that mental block against Indian bowlers, I think they will look to go out to bowl first and look to bowl that Bangladesh side out as fast as possible because they clearly struggled in that first Test match. I think it was evident for everyone to watch. Most of the batters struggled. There was a partnership in between initially, but then after that, there was no partnership that was formed, and it showed that the Bangladeshi batters clearly have some sort of a weakness to this Indian attack. So if you're playing three pacers, get them on board, decide to bowl first, and look to bowl this Bangladesh side out as fast as possible. And it's possible, because this Indian team that is playing at the moment, the bowlers that they have, with the options of spin, with the options of pace, it's a world-class unit altogether. You got Bumrah, you got Ashwin, Jadeja. All of these guys are threats to that Bangladesh batting. So, in my opinion, they'll be under severe pressure if they go out to bat for Bangladesh with these overcast conditions because it's not going to be easy. The ball will move, the ball will swing. and it'll also be generating good pace with the likes of Bumrah, Siraj, and if they go on with that third seamer as well. So definitely win the toss and bowl first, Gagi.
Bharat, what do you think? Rohit will go to bowl, look to bowl first.
Yeah, for starters, I will think about something else. See, if you look at India at Kanpur in the last 41 years, I don't think they have lost a test. So India play here and India win here, whether they win the toss or lose the toss. The last time they lost was due to one certain Malcolm Marshall. Obviously, unfortunately, is no more. One bowler over 63 minutes absolutely destroyed India. So Bangladesh, I guess, needs someone like that quality. Absolutely decimated India, who it took out Mohinder Ramanath, Sunil Gavaskar, Veng Sarkar in one single spell and reduced India to 18 for 4. So, yeah, obviously, if you win the toss at a ground like Kanpur, you would want to bat first because this pitch generally gets slower and slower, and it helps spinners over a period of time. Yeah, it's a bit of gamble. There's a bit of rain around, so that could be some moisture around. But still, I guess India will look to bat first unless too much moisture is seeped under and they feel that the track is too soft and it will seam around a lot. But from India's point of view, I think they will bat first. Maybe if I'm the Bangladesh captain, then I would be thinking a couple of more than a couple of minutes as to what I would do, because if there's a little bit of moisture, this is my chance. See, Bangladesh is the lesser team and they have to take the chance. It's not the Indian team. They have to take the gamble. So I think the onus is more on Bangladesh, what they would do if they win the toss. They might even think of bowling first if they believe there is a little more moisture underneath.
Yeah, so we're definitely looking at a delayed start. So we'll take your leave and we'll wrap up the show. Thank you, everyone who's watching. And thank you, Ishan, Bharat, and Shomik, who joined us earlier as well. Shomik is on ground and will give you guys all the updates from Kanpur. So stay tuned and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.